Hi, my name is Jyreikaguest, and I am a poet slash educator slash actor, singer, dancer, and I originally am from Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville, always, all day. And I am really excited to be able to present some of my poems for you. For those that know and those that don't know, I actually uh, have started writing poems that are specifically in reference to my grandmother's street. Um, she was very pivotal, very still is very pivotal in my life. I have her name. Her first name is actually my middle name. My middle name is Evelyn. So it means a lot to me as far as like keeping her name going. I use it in my stage name. So yeah, I'm gonna see if it's a good to go as I see more people arriving. And yeah, but in the meantime, I want to tell you a little bit about my grandmother. Like I said, her name is Evelyn, and she is the one woman that if you go into a grocery store and you're going in for two things, you might still get those two things, but she would have talked to everybody in the grocery store because everyone knew her and knows her. Um, Me and my mom, as well as my other siblings growing up, we were very much, oh, great, cool. All right, come on. We were overall just like moved by the woman that she is, and for me, I like to, as a historian, I like to appreciate and really think about how the past has informed present and charges our future. So I really wanted to make sure that this series of poetry, Garland series, is really of a dedication of the things that I used to think of as a child. When my mom was still a single mom to how I am now as an adult. Yeah, she's a wonderful woman, and I think that we can take more time in appreciating the people that came before us more than we do right now. But really, like thinking about that, I'll never forget a lady that I interviewed when I was getting my master's. She said, every single time an old person dies, a library burns. And I hold on to that because there's so much that we might know, especially in this very tumultuous time in our lives that's happening right now for Black people like myself. Like, I look to the past and see what's been done. And so I overall stress that people of my generation, the generation after me, really think about like what history has taught us. And so, yeah, let's just have a good time. And I'm really excited. I hope you all enjoy my works. And I want to kick off with something that I love. This is one of my favorite poems to do. It's entitled Courage. Courage does not always roar, but sometimes you have to. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? Daughters and sons, I'm speaking to the generation of action. The new civil rights activists propel us to this wave of change. Raise your hands. Because I'm calling you out. Quizzical if you know what your history is about, calling for your voice to be heard, your purpose to be pursued, your courage to be tested. So, in short, yes, I'm challenging each and every single one of you. Yes, I charge you, young and old and in between, make this your new day's resolution. Not waiting for next year, but now. For it's a new day, it's a new life, it's a new world. And I'm feeling good. It's time for more than bird supply. Hi, not just tweet, but help our people rise. I'm talking about the homeless people, the downtrodden, first ridden, teachless people, the voiceless people. I'm talking all people. No shade identification necessary. A beacon of light shines the same at the end of any tunnel. And this railroad was never underground. So let's loud and proudly march to the North Star. I say, break the chains. Be the change and go beyond the shadow lines. You see, slavery is not just of the physical, but the mental mind games like Nintendo. And we must disconnect from the Xbox. TikTok, how many of us still walking the auction block? When we're selling our souls for economic gain, the material things claps our wrist and jail our ignorance soul. How many pairs of gym shoes will your soul get? You see, we don't have time to waste. Time mingles with fate. So, in the end, how will you participate? When the pen mirrors the pad to tell your story, what will your spitting image illustrate? Will your story make headline news or simply be a Facebook update? No. For better or worse, our foremothers rooted rough palms and long headed perseverance for us to make it to the promised land. Said struggle prepares success, unanimous votes for equality, and nothing less. Truth says it best. Said embers were to stay afloat as we fan the flames. Give the names and lay claim to what is ours. I stand on bruised yet unbroken shoulders. Angela D, Penny, and Shirley set them high for me. Taught me to dare to be myself. Phyllis Whitley taught me wisdom is higher than a fool can reach. So my intellect was the highest skyscrapers. Breadwinner, my spit brings home the dinner. My ephemeral calligraphy, I would never surrender. Roll of thunder, hear my cry. I'll keep writing. I'll keep reading. I'll keep teaching. I'll keep learning. I'll keep speaking till the day that I die so my mic stays open. And now it is your time. I take my verbs to the streets, my nouns to the schools, and promise to be the positive subject for every person, place, thing, and idea. So I challenge the same for you. Will you have the courage to speak when you have the right to remain silent? Courage does not always roar, but sometimes, all times, right now, more than ever, we have to. Thank you. Checking on some things here, making sure we're all good there. Dope, 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 dope. I am going to do something that I should have done earlier. All right, there we go. Put your silence on your phones. The next piece dives right into the Garland series, as I mentioned earlier. This piece specifically is one that I think about whenever I am home in Louisville. I'm currently a resident of Chicago, but it is something that for me means the world whenever I get to go home. I don't get to see my family as much as I would like to. Being an artist, it is trying and tough to be able to like make it work out for that. So this next piece is dedicated to what I saw, what I felt, what I smelled, what it all meant to me growing up on Garland Avenue. I'm just gonna make sure. All right, there we go. I can see you all. Grown garlands. Home. It had cracked paint, sharp wires, matted grass, and barefoot street races. But it was home. It was old with smoke stains, growing pains, and blood veins, breathing before the people ever entered. Tilted swings and fights ending in laughter, rusted frames, slamming screens. It was party without outlets. Fights ending in laughter, bruises mended by red flavored popsicles. Tears dried up in cornbread and aunties, and I do mean only aunties, potato salad. Joy given by granny's kisses, fear threatened by grandpa's gun or all five, and sometimes time out by someone over the age of 18. It was home when the street lights came on. Summer nights later than others than winter, but you better find your behind back on that porch where I can see you. You see, home used to live across the street in Green Acres. Or at least that's what baby Liz admired them as such. I had my plot and ran races every spring, rushing for stinky gold. You see, that's when home stretched far across the lawn and made rain dance. Walked along Garland Avenue. But home got a little shorter when new neighbors moved over. Home went from estate to stunted, blocked by the easy clay frozen over the green that used to grow there. You see, that part of home became corporate, then had the nerve to shut down, taking our sacred acres and new buds with it. Left us with just the parking lot. But home never worried. Home told stories. With dried lips twitches and tree switches, home smoked under dim lights while boozing on life. Drunk. Home was heavily sedated, leaning on broken fixtures. Home cooled the melodies, hum to lullabies, all until dark became early. Home was mosquito bites and swimming with water hoses, rolling down hills, catching, scratching, ruffles in mid-green, and tights ran so wide, hide and go seek could never find its end. Smelling like outside. With the nerve to still sneak kisses behind tree bark, and ooh, I'm telling mama. Siblings, baby cousins, all born, uncles and aunts, all born in the same year, no age, just kids. Tattletelling and monkey bars, beeline, not shorties, but beeline, and Derby on Broadway, beheaded Barbie dolls and G.I. Joes with no legs and crowded living room. Everyone lived at Granny's at some point. Home was quiet with faint sirens, belly swollen in the attic. I heard I was going to be a big sister, the new one told me. Whispered it while Mama slept in hot night with the windows open. Home wore no shoes and didn't need her teeth in to get a point across. Home worked a lot, all the time. Home's never known what vacation tastes like, just sweat and love. Home was bid with spades and trash talking, loud music bumping, feet stomping. Home had at least one gold tooth. Yeah. Home was the rose bush that bloomed every summer, the family that lost one every winter. Home ached and jumped, cooked and grumped, judged and loved. I remember home on Garland. That piece is entitled Growing Garlands. And not all, I want to just preface, I should have said this at the beginning if it was a purpose. Anyway, this is not specifically about my grandmother, but all the aspects around and family that surrounded my grandmother. So I don't want y'all to be like, Evelyn, why your granddaughter? Like, no, that's not what I said, okay? I said what I said. That's not what I said. I'm a lover of haikus. So this next piece, though very short, is something that's great significance to me. My grandfather, who is a Black mechanic in Louisville, he would always have pickles in mason jars that he would give to the kids in the summer. And this is before like pickles, those hot pickles were in those packets. This was like when pickles were just like ready, homegrown. Um, there's both a car shop and a small garden that is that took place or that had a plot in my at my grandma's house. So one thing that was very exciting to me as a child was always getting huge, like huge pickles, dill pickles from my grandfather. And here's a piece that's dedicated to that. Pickles by the jar, fat, crunch, sour presence, reach deep in, grab gold. That's the piece. This next piece is entitled Tar Heels. Uh, a backstory. Again, don't y'all come for my granny. Let me just say that, okay? This was something that I saw as a child that I find so funny how kids have such a gorgeous imagination. And if for parents that are home right now tending to their kids and trying to find new innovative ways to get them excited about what's happening around them while they're stuck at home, I would tell them to start describing, like exploring poetry in such a beautiful way and finding out documenting the things that mean something to them, whether it's the smell of your perfume or if it's laundry or their favorite meal, because there's something very special about that I've tried to embrace as far as staying at home and really thinking about the specific things that bring me joy or that I will make a mental note, hopefully some years later, and think about, like, I remember 2020 stuck at home. There was the speck of dust that I just could never, like, always blew away whenever I swept on Wednesdays. How, I don't know, but trying to find specific things that they can document on their it's a beautiful experience, and I think that it would be fun, a little family fun exercise. But my grandmother, she always she worked with no shoes on a lot. Like she would just go outside and like tend to her rose bush with no shoes on. She would do some yard work with no shoes on. She had shoes, but she just like it was a comfort. She was at home. She was at home. She did housework with no shoes on, all of that, gardening, like the whole nine. I remember as a child, my mom always to this day makes a joke of it because I would be like, Mama, I want shoes like Granny. And she was like, what are you talking about? Like, she always has these one shoes on. Like, they're like all purpose shoes. They're black shoes. Like, she never takes them off. And my mom was like, are you talking about her feet? And I was like, yes. But it was the bottom like that had that in the callus, but it's such a beauty that I hold on to. So this is the piece that's dedicated to that. Tar Heels. Mama, I want shoes like Granny. Little eyes wondering what made them the shade of Crayola coal. Rusted, worn, strong. Looked like pain. Felt like life. Hard. I wanted a pair. Maybe it was the way she wore them outside everywhere, picked at her rosebuds or turned over barbecue. I never noticed how no one ever not noticed her missing shoes. They just danced with her and the boombox. Watch their toes from hidden hers. You see, she's precious, crazy, and neat. She isn't too pretty to have dirty feet now. Washed off the day every night, showing calluses, snow white. I wanted to be free like Granny's shoes. Maybe that's why I dance now barefoot, earth loving African moves. Me and the earth just got it like that. So hard it made my arch flat. Though I haven't reached the point of Tar Heels one day, if I ever encounter a Garland Avenue where families fight versus shoot to kill, I'll be the neighbor in doorways, waving, hey, and feeling the way she feels. Tar Heels. This next piece is entitled Small Change. And this is legit just how I felt whenever someone gave me $1 and I got to go to the store up the street called the Beeline. And it's magical. Like, I don't know how kids today feel, but it was magical when you just got a little bit of coin that you could take to the convenience store. And when penny candy was a thing, I don't know if it's still a thing, but you could stock up. That might be showing my age. That's fine. But this piece is called Small Change. Little me and young Jerry curl swinging in hot wind, burning my face deep cocoa, greasy, no pimples, just outside musty and ashy elbows, floral skirt, and stained shirt, assorted baubles and braids and empty candy necklaces, chasing down Garland past the firehouse, playing loud and laughing till my knees buckled in the soggy grass. Cousins, uncles, and us just living like life extended far forever on Garland Avenue. The Beeline was our kids' Kroger. Side note, I miss Kroger. I miss it so much. Mariano's is here, but I miss Kroger. You know, candy aisle and sweets. Mama gave me $1. She gave me $1. I got $1. She gave me $1 today. Big money. I was the hero. Captain Planet is a girl named Bird. At least that's what my kitten hands thought. Who wants something from the store? I'm buying. Flaunting. Plain grown. Buying up everything or two things with my dollar. If only a single dollar could save the world again. Make my family smile like it used to. How tiny eyes see things in magnitude, and older ones see the same in micro. Little birds shined hopes in lemon heads, blue passions with blow pops, bubble wishes brought families closer with sugar daddies and auntie. I was auntie's sweetest honey bun, sweet and saucy. And now the big bird. She prays for the same sugary goodness to spread to her niece and her nephew as they find the same joy on Garland, praying that the bruises can heal and will only leave outer scars. I wish rainbows meet them at the end of the street, surrounded by angels instead of caution tape. That even they will want to change the life of someone else with more value than what jingles, or even the kind that folds. I mean, the selfless change that holds, small change. And then I have one more piece, y'all. One more piece, and then I'm gonna get on out of here. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Forgive me as I'm just trying to make sure I in front of me. Since we had that technical difficulty, my apologies there. But I wanted to grace you all with this last piece. Yes, yes, yes. How y'all doing out there? You can comment below. All right. Now this piece is one that I have been processing. Um, that is near and dear to me as we continue to think about how we are sending a message out to everyone as far as their their purpose, their place here, um, and what I hope that my children, I have none now, but my children will be able to see as far as appreciation for themselves. So, um, this next piece is entitled Mama Said. Mama said there'd be days like this, there'd be days like this. Mama said, Mama said there'd be days like this, there'd be days like this. My mama said. Kentucky born, bred from talented of the Carolinas and the Commonwealth states, stature to be 6'4", but landed at 5'3". I am Ramona's blood, sweat, and tears. First of her name without the sperm donor's disease to disappoint, but my mama appointed me great. But with greatness comes trial and tribulation, heartbreak and helpless frustration. She said, listen closely, because my words ain't free. The affirmation I pray for you ain't normally gifted to the dark hued, sometimes, most times, for little black and brown girls, these lessons come at a cost. She said, from the moment of your first breath, you will be a radical movement. But but mountains, not white supremacy, will move you. You will get pushed and prodded. Your protrusions and capacities will be studied and stigmatized, but you are Grace Jones Bold, Eartha Kitt Stare. You are Etta James Payne and Angela Davis Hare. You will get hurt in this life by lover, friend, foe. You will sometimes curtsy to bigotry, code switch to corporate, and roll shoulders back head high to overqualified. You will be marginalized and found guilty without the chance to be innocent. But you are the Gullah Geechee tongue, demanding to be free. Ma Rainey, you are the huck and swing. You are the salsa to Celia Cruz, the jiggle and twerk, the dimple and the sling and hang. It is more than a spiritual, than a beauty standard. It is a revolution. And there should be no confusions or delusions. You see, we will not be the stereotype the world predicts of you. Be the beacon that shines in the complicated shades. Prismatic beauty, even your rage is beautiful. Not hostile, but brazen, vulnerable, beautiful. That the policies policing your power will unravel like loose braids, will wither loose skin, will only stand for so long when we lose our voice. You see, our voice, our mama's voice, her mama's voice, and the lessons we speak to those will go forth to tell our stories. Will we teach them about Shirley Chisholm and Fannie Lou, or simply retweet the degradation of people in the news? You see, no. Today, we will see our own grade. We will define, redefine, and confine all the ways in which they have done to us. Today, we stand because Black Lives Matter, you matter, Black Lives Matter, and all Black Lives Matter. So you stand because Mama said you should, you will, and you could. So we march on. We'll see you further. Mama said there'd be days like this. There'd be days like this. Mama said there'd be days like these. There'd be days like this. My mama said, go forth, change minds, do it differently. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate Kentucky Performing Arts for having me. Yeah, you all are amazing, and I just hope that you are doing the work furthermore for all of us. And by all means, keep the fight moving along and continue to tell our stories. All right. Peace, y'all.